My dear friend, before you move on, give yourself one quiet moment. Something deep inside you paused for a reason. Perhaps you cannot explain it, yet your heart recognized that these words might carry the encouragement you have needed for a long time. This is not about coincidence. Sometimes God reaches us through the simplest moments, quietly reminding us that we have never been forgotten. Even after seasons filled with unanswered questions, your spirit has continued searching for hope. That small spark within you is proof that faith is still alive. There have been nights when you smiled in front of others but silently carried burdens no one could understand. You have whispered prayers while driving, walking, working, or lying awake in bed. You have wondered if God heard the words you spoke, and even the tears you never allowed to fall. Let this truth settle into your heart today. Not one sincere prayer has been ignored. Every sigh, every silent cry, and every hopeful thought has been known by the one who created you. You have faced moments when people misunderstood your intentions. Some walked away without explanation. Others made promises they never intended to keep. Every disappointment left another question in your heart. You tried to stay strong, yet there were days when your strength felt completely gone. Still, God remained beside you. Even when you could not feel His presence, He never stopped watching over your life. Imagine a traveler named Ethan walking alone through a long valley after losing almost everything he had worked for. His plans had collapsed. His closest friend had left town without saying goodbye. Every door he knocked on seemed to close before he arrived. One evening he sat beside an old wooden fence, staring at the fading sunset, wondering if his future had disappeared with the daylight. An elderly woman named Grace happened to pass by. She noticed the sadness on Ethan's face and quietly sat beside him. She did not begin with advice. Instead, she simply listened. After a long silence, she smiled gently and said, "Sometimes God grows the strongest roots during seasons when nothing seems to bloom." Those words stayed with Ethan long after they parted. He did not know it then, but that conversation would change the direction of his life. Maybe your story feels similar. Perhaps you have been asking why your efforts seem unnoticed while others move ahead. Maybe you compare yourself with people whose lives appear perfect from the outside. Yet appearances often hide private battles. Every person carries struggles that cameras never capture and social media never reveals. God sees beyond every mask. He knows your real story. Think about the shepherd in the Bible who searched until he found the one lost sheep. That story was never only about a sheep. It was about every person who believes they have been forgotten. It was about you. God does not measure your value by your success, your mistakes, or your popularity. Your worth has always been greater than anything this world could ever calculate. There is something happening behind the scenes that you cannot yet see. While you have been waiting, important pieces have quietly been moving into place. Delays are not always denial. Sometimes they are protection. Sometimes they are preparation. God often works in silence before revealing something beautiful. Seeds spend a long time hidden beneath the ground before anyone sees the first sign of life. Do not mistake silence for absence. A teacher is often quiet during an exam, yet never leaves the classroom. In the same way, God has not abandoned you during difficult seasons. He has been strengthening your character, shaping your patience, and preparing your heart for responsibilities you could not have carried before. Right now you may feel surrounded by uncertainty. Bills may be waiting. Relationships may feel fragile. Your health, career, or family may seem filled with questions. Even so, hope has not expired. The next chapter of your life has not been canceled. Every sunrise is another reminder that new beginnings are still possible. Here is something many people forget. Fear always speaks loudly, but faith often whispers. Fear tells you to quit. Faith quietly invites you to take one more step. Fear focuses on what is missing. Faith remembers what God has already done. Every great journey begins with one decision to keep moving, even before the destination becomes visible. Now let me ask you something. What if the setback that caused you the most pain becomes the very reason someone else finds hope? What if your story is still being written? What if today's disappointment becomes tomorrow's testimony? Stay with this thought because the answer may surprise you. Months passed for Ethan. Nothing seemed different at first. Then one unexpected phone call opened a door he never imagined. A small opportunity became a meaningful career. New friendships replaced painful memories. Most importantly, his faith became stronger than his fear. Looking back, he realized that if every earlier plan had succeeded, he would never have discovered the better path God had prepared. Your life may be standing at a similar crossroads. You cannot see every answer today, but that does not mean answers are not coming. Trust grows strongest when certainty is absent. Every step taken with faith becomes part of a greater story that only God fully understands. Please remember this. You are not defined by your worst day. You are not limited by your biggest mistake. You are not abandoned because life became difficult. God still calls you valuable. He still calls you loved. He still calls you forward. His plans are larger than your fears and stronger than your doubts. Whenever anxiety begins to fill your mind, pause for a moment. Take a slow breath and remind yourself that God has carried people through impossible situations throughout history. He can guide you through this season too. You do not have to understand every detail before choosing to trust Him. If these words have reached your heart today, maybe this is your reminder to stop believing the lie that your best days are behind you. Your future is not built on yesterday's failures. It is built on today's decision to keep believing. Even one small step of faith can begin changing everything. Before this message ends, hold on to one simple truth. Hope is never wasted when it is placed in God. Even when progress feels invisible, growth is still happening beneath the surface. One day you will look back and realize that the seasons you wanted to escape became the seasons that shaped your greatest strength. So walk forward with courage. Speak with kindness. Choose faith over fear, forgiveness over bitterness, and hope over despair. Let your life become proof that difficult chapters are not the final chapter. And if this message encouraged you, share it with someone who may be waiting for the same reminder today. Moral: never judge your future by your current struggle. God often prepares the brightest sunrise while the night still feels darkest. Share this message and remind someone today that hope grows strongest when faith refuses to give up.